On February 14th, 2023, a 19-year-old Twitch streamer named Leila Moreau decided to host a special Valentine Day broadcast for her nearly 200,000 followers. She called it the Lonely Hearts Club. Her setup was perfect for the theme: a pink-drenched room, twinkling fairy lights, heart-shaped pizza, and glitter on just about every surface. Thousands of viewers tuned in, flooding the chat with messages and donations. It was a huge success. Then, at 2:11 in the morning, after hours of entertaining her audience, Leila laughed and said, "Quick bathroom break, don't leave me," before stepping out of the camera's view. The webcam kept rolling, the background music looped. Her empty gaming chair spun slowly in the center of the frame. The chat continued its endless scroll, but Leila never came back. 19 agonizingly long hours passed. It wasn't until her roommate came home, walked into the room, and saw the stream still live with the empty chair that anyone in the real world realized something was terribly wrong. She immediately called the police. By then, the video on demand, the VOD, had already become a viral sensation. Millions of people across the internet were watching a recording of an empty bedroom, fascinated and confused by the streamer's disappearance. The internet loves a good mystery, and this was shaping up to be one of the strangest ever. But the real story wasn't in what people saw live. It was hidden in the details, the things that were too quick, too subtle for anyone to notice in real time. When investigators got a hold of the footage, they slowed it down, examining every single frame at 0.05 times the normal speed. The empty room wasn't so empty after all. The secrets it revealed were chilling. Just 7 minutes after Leila left, at 2:18 a.m., the bedroom door creaked open, just a couple of inches, seemingly by itself. A single red balloon drifted silently into the room, as if guided by an invisible hand. It floated down and landed perfectly in the center of the carpet. Then, the door clicked shut. The chat was confused. A few viewers typed "wind," but most didn't seem to notice at all. An hour and a half later, at 3:44 a.m., something had changed. The same red balloon was no longer on the floor. It was now floating about 3 feet in the air, held in place by an unseen force. A ribbon, which hadn't been there before, was now tied to it. And on that ribbon, in tiny, meticulous handwriting, were the words, "Be mine forever." The anomalies kept coming. At 5:29 a.m., the overhead light in Leila's room flickered once, twice, 3 times. When the light steadied, the scene had changed dramatically. A second gaming chair had appeared right next to Leila's. It was an exact duplicate, but it was a chair that nobody owned, that had never been in the apartment before. And someone was sitting in it. A dark figure, with their hood pulled up, their face completely obscured by shadow. They sat perfectly still, motionless. This, the chat did not miss. It exploded into a frenzy of panic and speculation. People spammed emotes and typed in all caps, asking what was happening. Was it a prank? A hacker? The stream moderators, overwhelmed and believing it was some kind of elaborate troll, began banning users for spreading fake information. But it wasn't fake. At 6:03 a.m., the hooded figure slowly, deliberately raised one hand. They waved at the camera, making a peace sign. It was Leila's signature wave, the exact same one she used at the start of every single one of her streams. It was a gesture her followers knew intimately, now being performed by a terrifying stranger in her empty room. An hour later, at 7:12 a.m., the figure stood up. They walked directly toward the webcam, getting closer and closer until their face was pressed against the lens, completely fogging it up with their breath. For 9 full minutes, the screen was nothing but a blurry, obscured haze. Then, the fog cleared just enough to reveal a single finger pressed against where their lips would be, in a universal sign for silence. She. At 7:21 a.m., the figure returned to the second chair and resumed their statue-like stillness. They didn't move a muscle for the next 13 hours. The stream continued, broadcasting this silent, ominous vigil to the world. One final bizarre event occurred at 8:51 in the morning. The figure stood up one last time. They walked over to Lila's bed, gently smoothed out the blanket as if they were tucking someone in, and slid a small red envelope under the pillow. After that, they returned to the chair and sat down, becoming perfectly still once more. When police finally entered the room at 9:06 that night, the scene was eerily normal. The second chair was gone. The red balloon was gone. There was no sign of the hooded figure. Everything was just as Lila had left it, with one exception: the red envelope under her pillow. Inside, they found a Valentine's card. In what was unmistakably Lila's own handwriting, it read, "I'll never go offline again. Heart emoji. Promise." But here's the part that makes this whole thing seem impossible. The card was time-stamped by the paper manufacturer. Forensic analysis proved it had been printed, and the message written on it. A full 48 hours before Lila's Valentine's stream had even begun. So what happened? The explanation is almost more terrifying than the mystery itself. Lila was found a week later, wandering disoriented at a highway rest stop with no memory of the past 9 days. She was physically unharmed. The hooded figure was never real. It was a deep fake, a flawless, AI-generated character created and overlaid onto the live feed in real time. The technology was so advanced that it could mimic Lila's own signature wave. The only things that were physically present in the room were the balloon and the card. They were delivered by a silent, hummingbird-sized drone that slipped in and out through an air vent. After the incident, the Lila Plays Twitch channel was deleted. The official story ended there, but the legend didn't. Every year on February 14th, at exactly 2:11 a.m., the original 19-hour VOD mysteriously reappears on Twitch. It's always under a new, randomly generated account name. No one claims responsibility for it, and Twitch seems unable to take it down. It stays live for exactly 19 hours, and then it vanishes without a trace. Last year, the Phantom stream peaked at over 11 million concurrent viewers, all watching the empty chair and the ghostly performance that followed. A new part of the legend has also emerged. People who leave the stream running in the background overnight have reported their own webcams briefly, turning on by themselves at 2:18 a.m., the exact time the balloon first entered Lila's room. And there's one last detail, a final chilling twist for those brave enough to watch until the very end. If you're watching on a laptop and you turn your screen brightness to the absolute maximum right as the 19-hour stream concludes, some viewers swear they can see an extra reflection in the dark monitor of Lila's on-screen computer. A reflection of someone sitting exactly where you are right now. Happy Valentine's Day. Maybe keep your camera covered tonight. Thanks for watching.